Welcome back everybody, Todd here. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Before we jump into today's review, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to grow the channel. Probably the best way you can help me is to do just those two things. Thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Today's review is going to be on this YolanAuto motorcycle smart navigation system. So come on with me and let's jump into this review. I'd like to start out by thanking YolanAuto for sending this product for me to review. Here we go. Let's take a look at what came inside of that box. I've unpackaged it. You can see that you've got a couple of different boxes. It gives you a list of what's in each one. We've got one over here as well. Comes with the instructions, user's manual. I've read through it. Looks pretty comprehensive. And then you've got the components that are bagged in separate bags. Very easy to identify. While there are quite a number of moving parts to it, it's actually quite simple. If you look inside your user's manual here, it gives you a great diagram. Everything is color coded. Let me get this unpackaged and I'll show you. Now that we've got it unpackaged, let's just take a closer look at what you're getting inside the kit. So, as I said, they're color coded. So you've got a front and rear camera. This one's black, this one's blue. Here's your main wiring hub that goes right there to the host device, the host unit. And then that's going to go to the back of the host. And then all of these electronics are going to be color coded and just tie right into there. So again, couldn't be any simpler. Here's your yellow. This is going to go around your handlebar. That's going to be your controls. You can see that here's the attachment for putting it on your handlebars or however you're going to affix it to your bike. And then these are obviously for going inside of there. That'll size it to the bar that you're putting it on. So you got lots of choices for sizes. Here's your main wiring. Here's tools they're providing. You got the manuals, zip ties. These are little color-coded stickers so that as you feed these in and want to zip tie them together on the bike underneath, you can color code them with those so that later you'll know which color goes where once you've got it installed on the bike. So here's the host unit. Here's the main computer, if you will. It's very substantial. It's a nice size though. It's not overpowering. And it really seems to be quality built. Here's your TPS or your tire pressure monitoring system. So those, again, here's a perch mount in case you're going to perch mount to a thing. So, and then it comes with a screen protector for that screen, which is nice. So our first order of business is to get the bracket on there to mount the unit. Inside of here, you've got the plastic discs that go in there. So you just have to play around based on the size of the handlebar. They're going to provide you with the tool that fits these two bolts. Just taking your time, working on that, you can get that nice and snug. Then this one right here is loose. You've got the ball that has to go in there. So now that I've got this on nice and snug, I can go ahead and get my unit on there it's loose enough to let that ball slip in there. Once I slip the ball in, I'll tighten this up and then we'll start to get a position on it. Here we are sitting on the bike. You can see where I've got it mounted on the handlebar. I can clearly see the dashboard just fine, and it's very easy to reach out and touch. Again, here it is. Looking at it from the back side, you can see that ball that holds it together there. Here's our wire coming down. So all of our wires will be down inside the fairing which is perfect. So I've taken the seat off of the motorcycle so I can get at the battery and the wiring. Let's take a look at how this thing wires up. So it's actually pretty simple. You've got the red wire that goes right to your positive on the battery. You've got the black wire that goes over here to the negative. Then you've got this white wire. The white wire has to go to the ACC fuse. Some people will splice into the wire, but you don't have to do that. You can feed that wire right down, pop the fuse out, feed that wire right down into the ACC fuse, pop your fuse back in, and that should do the trick. Then you should be able to pop your fuse cover back on, and it should be wired correctly. Our next step then is to mount the rear camera. I've just got some painter's tape holding it in place right now. I've run the wire here. I should be able to come up through here, go inside that gap, and then tuck the excess right there. I've come down along there. I've followed up through the tank along these other wires, which I'll be able to zip tie it to. I've come up through there, and right there I am. Okay, we've got the hand control on. Here's what it looks like on the bike. The wire is going to come from the top, runs under the bike right there. It's just going to follow down with the rest of the wires here. I've put the front, I'm going to put the front camera, I'm going to stick it right to the bottom of the light there, right there. So here's the back of the unit, and to go ahead and put it together, here's our wire harness right here. That goes right there. You can see that kind of goes down in there, and it has all the leads there that connect up to the various wires. So we just have to go ahead and put those two together. And just like that, we've got it connected, and we're basically at that stage where it's time to fire it up and see what's what. Here we go, we've got our tire pressure monitoring system. All that comes in the box, pretty simple. You screw that onto your valve stem, then you put that on, then you screw that up with this, and it locks the two together so somebody can't just walk over and pop these off without having a wrench. There you go, that's all there is to it. Put that someplace safe, and one down, we just go ahead and repeat the same thing on the rear tire. We're at that time where it's time to fire it up and see if she works. Cross your fingers, here we go. Hey, it's looking good. Here we are. Abnormal tire pressure, it says. We want to figure out how to get this to PSIs. Here we go, we want the PSI. There you go. Pretty impressive unit, actually. Let's do a quick review of the system. Here's your main unit, and you can either use a touch screen or you can use the hand control right here. Hit the home and back it goes to home. So again, hand control or touch screen. Coming around back, we've got the rear camera right here. This is just temporarily held on. We're going to wait till it warms up a little bit before we put that down permanently. But for installation purposes, works out perfect. Then we come up here, we've got the front camera. Same thing, we'll mount that permanently when it gets a little bit warmer. Down here, you've got the tire pressure monitoring device on the front tire as well as the rear tire. It's a real complete system. Lots of mounting options as to where to put it. It's an extremely flexible unit to install. Pretty easy install as a do-it-yourself project. Well, that's going to do it for today's product review. I really appreciate you tagging along. Again, if you'd help me out by hitting that like button, hit subscribe. that'd be great. Hey, we'll see you back here on the next review.